Hi, I'm Tracy Austin, and this is Tennis Channel Academy. The Tennis Channel Academy production team has crisscrossed the entire country, spending time with the top coaches in our sport.
Land on your right, step to your left.
Come on, get up to it. Go after it. Good.
These are the same coaches who mold promising players into champions. Now they will teach you the same way they coach and mentor the stars.
Here we go, make the move. Perfect.
As you will see, there are as many ways to teach winning tennis as there are ways to win, and as many personal styles.
Pivot, turn, load, fire.
If you love the game, more importantly, if you play the game, this show will be your game changer. In our best of shows, we focus on the top tips we've learned in technique, movement, and strategy. This episode, we tackle the most important shot in tennis, the serve. Whether your kick needs more spin or your bomb down the tee needs more power, this is a masterclass in serving you don't want to miss. Hold on for the next half hour and you'll hold serve easier than ever before.
It's obvious that the serve is a critical shot in the game.
The serve is really one of the most important shots in tennis. You can't practice it enough, and you gotta practice it to be consistent and aggressive.
You want to serve that's a weapon. You want to serve that's not a liability. And that starts with great technique, great timing, and you want to develop that smooth, liquid power.
You want to try to develop a serve that gives you some free points. Some people say you're about as good as your second serve. And nobody looks exactly the same when it comes to serve.
There's some unconventional serves that are very effective out on the tennis tour. You have Rafael Nadal, you have Robin Soderling. There's a lot of successful ways to serve if the fundamentals are good. The consistent ball toss, the good racket head position, and letting the big muscles of your body help you generate the pace. With those three elements, your serve will be very successful.
Your serve is started long before you make contact with the ball. Now our coaches teach the importance of ritual and the toss.
In order to hit an effective serve, you gotta be in balance and you gotta be relaxed. A common thing that pros do, if you look at them, they all bounce the ball. They're all leaning forward. Some of them bounce it once, twice, some of them bounce it 10 times.
I think it's important to have a ritual. Gives you sort of a down time a little bit before the serve. It relaxes you. Usually kids will rush between the first and second serve. So I think a ritual is very good to develop.
One of the biggest mistakes club players make is they undervalue the ball toss. It's really important to be able to get the ball toss in the same spot each time. You're looking somewhere between 12:30 and 1:30 on that hour clock that we remembered. Get that ball toss somewhere between 12:30 and 1:30 each and every time, and then the rest of the technique and mechanics becomes very easy.
And what you want to do is you want to bring the left arm up and really have it extended way up. If you look at Sampras, that left arm was straight up. When you look at Maria, that left arm was straight up. If they know where the toss is sitting, they can hit the ball as hard as they can.
When you toss the ball, I don't even like to say toss the ball. I want you to think of placing the ball, like you have an egg in your hand. Just lay it up there on the shelf.
consistent ball toss and a simple motion should actually allow you to make contact on your serve with your eyes closed. I wouldn't recommend this in the club championships, but you can definitely make good solid contact and let it go.
We take a look at the importance of a smooth, easy motion when Best of Tennis Channel Academy returns. You're mentally ready, you've made the perfect toss, time to crush that serve. Now we learn about maximizing the upper body.
You know, I've never seen a good server that can't throw a ball well. So if you don't serve well or you want to improve your serve, start just learning to throw a ball well. Good. Throw it to the fence. There we go. Keep your wrist at the same angle, okay, as you load it. Get it to the shoulder height. And then once you're at the shoulder height, your elbow comes around to the right and your wrist flops back. And you lead through with your elbow and then your wrist snaps through. Now when you're serving, instead of your elbow coming through to the right and snapping, your elbow is going to come up and out. You want to have full extension to get your energy to go up and over and snap through the ball. Elbow up and out and then snapping up and through. Come on, go. Excellent.
One of the biggest mistakes I see with kids is they never really find the power position. What is the power position? Basically, you want the shoulders tilted, almost like a trophy. Many times the kids keep their shoulders level. On the groundies, that's the name of the game. Well, on the serve, you want to be in the power position. When you tilt, you're going to be able to thrust up into the ball. You want this shoulder, this elbow in a line. But here's the key. The big ticket item is this elbow. You don't want the elbow to come down. You want shoulder, shoulder, elbow. This is the power position.
What we're looking for here is to elevate the left shoulder. Notice it's a much higher position than the back shoulder here. This is going to give us the maximum range of motion to hit the serve.
A great drill that I use for the power position is I'll have the student do their regular serve and then I'll tell them to freeze. And then what I do is I check all the points. I want to see when I say freeze if they found the power position. Go. Freeze it. Not bad, but what I want, more tilt, more tilt. Just lean the trunk back and we'll do that over and over again. And once I know they have the power position, then I'll incorporate the ball and they'll have a better serve. Slow, hold it. Great power position. Slow, go. Way to thrust. You know, the timing of the serve is so crucial. You know, many players are disconnected. They're disjointed. There's a lot of hitches before, during, and even afterwards. Once you start the racket back, you want it to flow. Whether it's an abbreviated or you're going to take it back traditional, you want in and out of the back scratch so you're flowing into the ball. Gravity is going to take it back and then throw. A continuous motion. Just let it go. Let it go. That a girl. Once that racket starts, you want to build up that momentum.
We want to keep it as simple as possible. Just remember there can be a lot of moving body parts when you serve. One way to avoid this is get the hands to work in unison. So we want them to start up together, down together, up together, hit. Up together, down together, up together, hit.
A common mistake we see at the club level is players stretching up and just using their arm, to go up and hit, and then collapsing on the hit. They stretched out and they collapse before they make contact. You want to explode up and out, and you want to continue up and out like an arc. You got to go up and over the rainbow, and you want to land into the court. You want to stay strong, stretch up and hit, finish the hit, and go out into the court. So that your energy's going up and out at an arc. Oh, you got the explosion.
And that is just generating racket speed. And that is just by snapping the wrist and snapping the lower arm. I found a drill that works very well for your serve. You hit them a high ball like a lob, and then they have to hit an overhead after the bounce. You have to generate all the power out of the snap.
So from this position here, a lot of players say to me, well, now what do I do with my left hand? What we want to have the sensation and the feel of is after we're in this position, it's like a pull and tuck. As the left arm pulls down, the shoulder is going to drop, which is going to help accelerate my right shoulder up high to the ball. The tuck is going to stop my body so I can accelerate fast and forward with the upper arm. Up and then pull it in. There you go.
Many times players, the left arm, it bails out and goes behind them. What that does, it decreases racket head speed. By tucking the left arm under the chest, it stops the shoulder and it speeds up the racket. You see this many times. A baseball pitcher, a quarterback, that tucking action, the left arm naturally comes in, it creates a braking action, and it expedites the racket faster into contact. A great way to reinforce the tuck with kids is break it down into one phase. It's like throwing a javelin. It's an up and out movement, but you want them to think about throwing up and bringing the left arm in. Coil, bring it in. Again. Great, I like that one, These are all key components for getting a great serve. Power position, use the left arm, and that all-important timing. Put it all together and you have a great serve.
You can serve without using your legs, but that makes it tough to hit with power. When we come back, we learn how to get your lower body into the serve. Sampras, Federer, Roddick, they're all huge servers. They each have at least one thing in common, a deep knee bend. Now we learn how to use the lower body to generate power on the serve.
Some guys like to start with their feet a little wider than your hips. The front foot is pointing 45-degree angle to the net. The back foot varies depending upon your style that you like. Some people like it way back, some people like it up closer. I just like it medium. Some players like to bring their back foot up in the middle of the motion. There's nothing wrong with that. You start your swing and you bring it up and you're ready to explode up and out. They both work very effectively and there's not a right way or a wrong way. You know, everything in tennis is about loading and unloading, and the serve is no different. Just like you're throwing a ball, you're releasing your right hip and you're turning your torso. And as you're turning, you're pushing into your right foot and you're distributing the weight back forward into the front foot across your body. So you're trying to store this energy as you're turning. You're pushing into the ground with your right foot, and your weight is being distributed more into the front foot. And you're ready to explode up and out into the court. Stay strong. Boom. Perfect.
A nice way that we can get an angle between the front and back shoulder without dropping this elbow in is to bring the left hip out. Pushing that front hip out is going to help set up the angle between my front and back shoulder. When I do that, I've increased the range of motion that I'm able to hit the serve with. A nice visual that I like to give players is loading like a bow. When that front hip here is forward, it gives you that little bit of a curve. It's just like a long bow that's been pulled taut, ready to fire. From this position, you'll be able to deliver the maximum power to hit your serve.
If we're just relying on the arm, you're much more likely to either break down with fatigue or create some injury situations for yourself. You want the big muscles to help you with the power and the pace. The bigger and the stronger the muscle, the more endurance it's going to have, and the less likely you're going to create injuries. Make sure you get the good knee bend so the quads and the glutes can help you explode up into the court to generate the power much more easily. I had the good fortune of working with a guy named Pete Sampras. His serve was 1 in a million. He had sound technique, but he also generated a lot of power with that great knee bend and the explosion into the court. Look at those quads, look at the glutes, and watch that loose arm, and that's what generates tremendous amount of power. And if you add that to a champion's mentality, there's a lot of good things that come from it. We're not all Pete Samprases, I understand that, but there's 3 key themes that he has that we can incorporate into our game. The consistent ball toss, that same location every time. If we can get that consistent knee bend so that we allow ourselves to let the legs explode and up and into the court, and we get that racket in the right position prior to contact. So we can do those 3 things. Might not be Pete's serve, but it'll get our serve as good as it can be.
All right, you've crushed the serve. When we come back, our coaches teach us how to take advantage of it. What good is a great serve if you don't take advantage of it? Now the coaches of Tennis Channel Academy explain how to move after you serve.
Now in a match, you've got to be ready for the next ball. And what I've discovered is that players that practice their serve in matches are not worried about recovering for another shot. This is critical when you're practicing your serve. How do you do that? When you land on your front foot, it's a landing step, a jab, and a split. So it would be a land, jab, split. It allows you to use the momentum through your serve and regain your balance.
On the serve and volley, you got to get the toss into the court. Why? Because you want to explode up to the ball and be able to clear the baseline with your left foot. It is so important to use your legs with the serve and volley. You've got to load those hips and legs and explode up and out into that court. If you don't get a good jump and you land on the baseline, you are going to be a half a step to a step late getting to the ball at the net, and you're going to be picking it out from your toenails, okay? So you've got to load those hips and legs and explode up and out into that court. You sprint up to that tee as fast as you can, you split, and you're ready to go for that first volley. Good.
I think it's important that you explode up and into the court. To give him that feeling, I put my racket down on the ground, and all they have to do is jump over the racket handle. And many times they act like it's two bricks you put down there. You know, they think, oh my God, there's no way I can jump over it. But it's the explosion into the ball, that is a very important part.
The serve is the one time in a tennis game where it's only up to you. You're not relying on anything your opponent's doing, so that's paramount for you to be offensive.
In modern tennis today, the number one thing is to get control of the point. Well, how do you do that? You do that by getting a high percentage for your first serves in. In the 60 to 70% range, you're going to have a lot less aces, but you're going to be able to set up a greater percentage of the returns.
One of the most neglected aspects of junior development is the serve. A lot of times it's all about the ground stroke, which is key. Don't get me wrong, you got to have the groundies. But at the end of the day, especially when you hit the older age groups, college and professional, the serve is an equalizer. The serve is probably the single most important factor in the game today.
There it is, all you'll need to know to hit a great serve. But don't forget your homework, bend your knees and explode into it. I'm Tracy Austin. Thanks for watching.